Hi, I'm Mary, an Outreach Officer for Next Step South West, and I would like to welcome you to today's HE Taster session.
Hello and welcome to City College Plymouth, where we deliver higher education courses such as degrees in strength and conditioning and in sports therapy, and we also run a BSc top-up year in sports rehabilitation. All of these are accredited by the University of Plymouth. My name's Ian Davis and I'm the Programme Manager for the Foundation degree in Strength and Conditioning and Sports Coaching, and I also teach across all of our HE sports programmes.
Hi, my name is Darren Crocker and I'm the Programme Manager for the Foundation degree Sports Therapy and Injury Rehabilitation, and I also teach across all of our HE sports programmes. Throughout our careers we have worked with many of the local major sports teams, including Plymouth Argyle football, Plymouth Raiders basketball, Plymouth Albion rugby, Plymouth diving, GB diving, Exeter City football, and we continue to work with athletes from a range of different sports, from grassroots to Olympic standard.
Today's taster session is based on the rehabilitation process of a very common sports injury. We're going to be using an ankle sprain to provide some insight into how strength and conditioning coaches and sports therapists work closely together to take an injured person from the early stages of injury all the way through to a return to sport. Ankle inversion sprains are one of the most common injuries in sports, especially sports involving running around courts or pitches such as soccer, rugby or basketball. This injury occurs when the foot is forcibly pushed into a position where the sole of the foot is facing the midline, a movement called inversion. This can damage the ligaments that support the ankle, and in more severe cases, the musculotendinous unit, the skeletal system, and also the nerves.
After an incident involving the ankle, such as a hard tackle, awkward landing, or loss of control, and in this sense an ankle inversion sprain, a sports therapist would assess the joint to determine what type of injury has occurred using various manual therapy techniques, including checking for pain, swelling, passive and active movement, and the ability to weight bear. This might be done after the event if a therapist was present, but in many cases this may be done during a game as the therapist is working pitch side. Generally, in the initial stage of treatment, this would involve some type of rest of the injured area, and also the use of ice and elevation, which may help to protect the joint through the use of taping or strapping. Early treatment may involve manual therapy for a range of sports massage and joint mobilisation techniques, targeted at regaining range of movement and reducing pain. The addition of electrotherapy, perhaps in the form of laser therapy or ultrasound, can also help the healing process. And later, through shockwave therapy, if there are any residual tightness or restriction. Additionally, dry needling or interferential therapy may be used to help with pain. The main methods that would be used to start the rehabilitation process would be to first regain pain-free normal range of motion, both passively and actively. Range of motion can be passively increased manually or mechanically, through manipulation by the therapist, guided exercises, or using an isokinetic dynamometer. Sometimes when a joint is injured and or when a joint has been immobilised for a long period of time, the body may need some assistance when it comes to reactivating muscles that have become a little dormant. The use of neuromuscular electrical stimulation is sometimes required to help fire the appropriate muscles to re-establish correct neuromuscular pathways.
At this point, strength and conditioning coaches and sports therapists would generally work in collaboration to encourage active range of motion whilst continuing to develop passive range. This can be achieved using a variety of body weight and resistance exercises. Whilst strength and weight bearing is being regained through the concept of progressive overload and adaptation, other abilities such as balance and proprioception, otherwise known as body awareness, can be introduced using very simple tasks and then progressing to more complex exercises. This can be achieved using very minimal equipment, or if we want more precise and objective measurements, more advanced technology. Correct, efficient movement underpins all sports performance, and therefore it's important for us to ensure that our athletes move well before developing other athletic abilities. It's so important that one of our strength and conditioning graduates has dedicated his entire PhD to developing a movement curriculum for primary schools in New Zealand. So essentially, strength and conditioning is not all about working with elite athletes, it's about developing people to be athletic. Once a person is fully weight-bearing, has good balance, control, proprioception and coordination, the intensity and complexity of training can increase by progressively introducing exercises that involve the absorption of energy, or deceleration, the production of power, or acceleration, and changing direction in a controlled manner. The penultimate stage would be to reintroduce the injured person to drills and activities that are more specific to the reactive, explosive and chaotic nature of sport.
Throughout this process, athletes would need to pass certain criteria in order to progress to the next stage of rehabilitation. Ultimately, they would also need to pass a return to sport assessment in order to be cleared to return for sports competition. Hopefully this has given you an insight into what it's like to become a sports therapist and strength and conditioning coach, and also some of the methods and technology we use to help train our students to become professionals in industry. Learning by doing is what we're about at City College Plymouth, and that's what we firmly believe will equip our students in order to succeed in industry.
So many of our graduates have progressed on to become sports therapists, strength and conditioning coaches, rehabilitators, trainers, gym owners and other vocations all over the world in multiple sports at all levels. This has been aided by their time here with us, practically learning their trade through opportunities that we've been able to provide thanks to our links with employers, clubs, Erasmus Plus projects and our alumni students who are scattered all over the world.
We hope you've enjoyed this taste of what higher education can offer. For more information on courses and routes into higher education, you can visit the Next Step Southwest website or join the conversation on our social media channels.